This whole Kevin Harvick sucking for a race or two and then winning is really getting old. How's it going, everybody? My name is Eric and welcome to Out of the Groove. Episode I don't even know at this point. I think it's like 14 or 15. Wow, that's a lot of episodes. Today I'm going to be talking about the aftermath of the Kansas race in the Chase, the one from just yesterday. Hopefully many of you watched it. But, full disclosure, I did not watch the race this weekend. Whoa, okay, now come on. Okay, hold on. Now wait. Okay. Shut up! No, I did not get to watch the race at Kansas this weekend because I had pre-existing plans to go help film with other people's project. So I could not watch the race, couldn't get out of it, there was no way to watch it. I did though in breaks, I was able to check it on my phone every now and then. I kept up to date with it somewhat, but yeah, I did not watch the race. However, thankfully my dad was able to fill me in on pretty much every major detail, even the minor details that needed to happen. Plus I was able to look at highlights. I've read a lot of stuff. I think I get the gist of what needs to be covered on today's episode. So I should probably just start with the big thing. Kevin Harvick won the race. He blew an engine or had electrical issues at Charlotte a week ago, so he was in a kind of a chase hole, but once again, he won the next race to get out of that chase hole, and he will be moving on to the round of 8. Now, as I jokingly said in the intro, this is getting really old. I mean, basically every year the chase has existed, Harvick's done this at least once or twice where he sucked for a race, been in a hole, and it's like, oh, Ken Harvick, they've been so strong. Can they make it back? Can they press on and compete for this championship? And every single time he wins and moves on. It's not even surprising anymore. And honestly, the fact that it seems like Harvick is able to just basically win on command makes me wonder why he doesn't finish with 36 wins this season, honestly. In the races he does win, he makes it look so easy. But then the races he loses pretty badly. Or finishes second, which he does a lot. So yeah, Harvick got the win, probably had the best car most of the day from what I have seen. But a lot of chasers had issues. Chase Elliott was one of the most notable ones. He had a pretty good car, actually passed Harvick for the lead early in the race, but he had multiple tire issues that put him laps down. He did not get the finish he needed. He's currently in the deepest chase hole of anybody. He is 25 points behind 8th place, which is pretty much impossible to make up at this point. Chase Elliott's going to need to win at Talladega, or else he's not making it in as far as I can tell. He's going to need some serious good luck if he's going to get in without a win. And luck has not been on Chase Elliott's side this year. Brad Keselowski is one of the other most notable ones. Coming into Kansas, he had a pretty decent chase cushion after a decent day, after a top 10 run at Charlotte. But midway through the race, he was fighting the handling on his car, got really loose, slid up in front of Hamlin. I guess he got bumped a little bit, spun out, tore up the front of his car pretty badly. He got a DNF. I think he was the lowest finisher of the chase drivers. He is also on the outside looking in right now. He is 7 points behind 8th place, which he could make up at Talladega if other people get in wrecks. But he's going to need to come in clutch with at least a top 2, top 3, most likely a win at Talladega if he wants to move on. Denny Hamlin was another chaser that had some problems. Was really fighting the handling on his car most of the day, and then I think he got some nose damage partially from the incident with Keselowski. So that put him in the back. He finished 15th. He's also on the outside looking in. He didn't have a very good cushion coming into this race because he didn't have a spectacular run at Charlotte either. So he is currently 6 points out. Like Keselowski, he could make that up without winning, but he's going to need some help. Austin Dillon, as you'll remember at Charlotte, got spun out while on a restart, wrecked his car then. He was 3 points out of the chase coming into Kansas, but he made that all up with a strong 6th place effort. He is currently tied with Joey Logano right now for that 8th spot. Logano holds the tiebreaker because he has the higher finish. But Austin Dillon, he's making noise. He's in this thing still, guys. I mean, yep, Talladega's a wild card, but that might be exactly what Austin Dillon needs as a wild card right now. Joey Logano, like I just mentioned, had a great run at Kansas as well, finishing 3rd, which also made up for his hole. He put himself in at Charlotte when he blew a couple of tires. He is also, like I said, tied with Austin Dillon for that 8th spot. He currently owns the tiebreaker, but it's safe to say Logano's probably got the better handling race car than Austin Dillon, so it'll be interesting to see how they both run at Talladega this weekend. Those are the most significant guys with problems. Other people had issues here and there throughout the day. Matt Kenseth started out the race. First half of the race, he led us the whole thing, seemed to have the best car by far. They messed up the handling on a pit stop a little bit. He got into the wall, had some damage, put him even further back. They had to bow back from that. He still got a top 10 finish. He's still, I think, like 27 points to the good, so Matt Kenseth, most likely, barring any crazy incidences at Talladega, he's in the best shape out of the non-winners so far to move on into the round of 8. Also, fact check me right there, Matt Kenseth is actually 29 points ahead of 9th place, so even better. Carl Edwards, after a so-so run at Charlotte in the first race, finished second here at Kansas, which really boosts him up in the points. He's currently 4th in the points. He has a pretty decent cushion as well. Obviously, nobody except Harvick and Johnson are safe with Talladega looming over their heads where anything can happen. We've seen a couple of years ago, Kyle Busch was in like Matt Kenseth's situation right now. It was pretty much to the good, just couldn't have anything horrible happen. He got wrecked while running in the back of the pack early in the race and knocked him out of the chase. So we've seen anything can happen. We've seen Brad Keselowski also that same in 2014. Came into the race needing a win, kind of like Chase Elliott does now, and he got that win right when he needed it most, and Keselowski's going to need that again too, so again, anything can happen. It's really going to be an exciting race to watch. And yes, Talladega I should be able to watch, which I would not miss a Talladega chase race for really anything. I've already cleared my schedule. I'm going to be glued to my TV during that race. Some other notable drivers kind of on the bubble. I talked about Austin Dillon and Joey Logano. Martin Truex Jr. is only 13 points ahead, which is good in most cases, but like I said, at Talladega, anything could happen. Truex again finished 11th at Kansas. This is 2 races in a row, 2.5-mile racetracks where he's been strong this year, where he has not looked nearly as good as he has in the past. And with guys like Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick seemingly stepping up their game right now, this makes me a little bit nervous about Truex making it all the way to the Final Four. I still think he's going to make it into the round of 8. I think he's going to do well enough at Talladega to move on, hopefully. I don't know. But it raises some concerns, kind of like I talked about in one of my episodes last week. It raises some concerns about whether he's really a championship contender the way we all thought he was after the first couple of races of the chase. I mean, Truex won 2 of the 3 races in the first round, looked great, looked unstoppable. But in this round, he's looked pretty average. Kurt Busch has been, at the very least, he's been very consistent. He currently sits 17 points to the good heading into Talladega, which is way better than I thought he'd be at this point. And he hasn't had great race cars, but he's been solid. He finished 13th at Kansas this weekend. He's been very average, but he hasn't had any catastrophic failures like a lot of these other guys have had so far. So he's in decent shape right here. I think Talladega's going to be really interesting because right now when we look at 3 of the 4 guys currently on the outside of the chase bubble right now, Hamlin, Keselowski, and Chase Elliott, I think a lot of people saw at least 2 of those 3 guys moving on into the next round, depending on the mix. I know I had all 3 of them moving on past this round, so the fact that they're all right now at the bottom of the chase grid, that's concerning, and honestly, I really only think one of them's going to make it out, at most. I mean, you think about it, only one of them can win the race, and I don't know that any of the other guys are going to be able to point their way in. I mean, I know Chase Elliott basically has to win. He can't point his way in. Hamlin and Keselowski, they maybe could, but I think it's going to take a win for a lot of those guys. And only one of them can do that, so there's a good chance we'll see 2 of those 3 at least out after this round. That'll be a major shakeup, especially if we get someone like Austin Dillon and Kurt Busch sneak in, guys who have been pretty much under the radar most of the season. If they sneak into the round of 8, and it's anyone's game, anything can happen. You get a win at Martinsville, Texas, Phoenix, you're at Homestead. Anything, I keep saying this, anything can happen, and I sound repetitive when I keep saying it, but literally anything can happen. That's what makes it hard to talk about right now because there's so many possibilities. Later this week I'll talk more about the chase grid, perhaps. I'll preview a little bit more about Talladega, but for now, this is today's show. Thank you guys again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter at Dex Racing. I say this every week. I always say that every week. New episodes Mondays and Fridays. Next one will be Friday. I'll get that thing up right away. I'm hoping to have another little short video out sometime this week, just that I made when I was bored the other day. I just need to finish editing it, and I'll do that. Not much else to look forward to right now. I'm just going to keep doing these videos, at least through the chase, and then I'll try to do some other stuff. So thank you guys always for supporting these videos. If you're subscribed, thank you very much. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you're watching this, hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you want to watch more, because there'll be more coming. But yep, that's all I have. Again, from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of my Superman logo, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later this week. Bye-bye.